We're just going to do a test, yeah? 1 second. Can you guys hear us nicely, yeah? Nice and loud. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sorry. Actually, got 9 seconds. Yo, this keeps dropping, you know. How do I get this to like stay?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this special edition of Taxsolvers presenting in Ramadan, broadcasting live this afternoon, Radio Ramadan, 87.7 FM, also live on Facebook, YouTube. Today between 2 and 3 p.m. we're going to discuss business and tax in the UK, focusing on how Muslim entrepreneurs, professionals and donors can remain fully compliant with HMRC whilst maximising the impact of their giving during the blessed month. In Islam, wealth is an amana, it's a trust. Zakat is our religious obligation. Sadaqah is a virtue. In the UK, tax is a statutory obligation. These responsibilities operate side by side, and understanding them ensures that your giving is both spiritually and legally effective. One common misconception is that zakat automatically reduces your UK tax bill. This is not the case. However, when donations are made to UK registered charities that qualify for gift aid, your donation can increase by 25% at no extra cost. We're going to discuss some of those examples, and we'll also cover how businesses can claim corporation tax relief on qualifying donations, some VAT considerations on donated stock, the difference between sponsorship and charity giving, governance and accountability for charities. Joining us is a representative from Humanity Without Borders, Tayyib Sakrani. He's going to share how charities ensure compliance, transparency, and proper stewardship of our valuable monies which we donate. Whether you're a business owner, a professional, or an individual looking to give responsibly this Ramadan, this program will provide practical guidance. Let's begin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, Ash, are you ready? This is your first show, mashallah.
Yeah, super nervous.
Alhamdulillah.
Let's go.
So, Bismillah, because obviously the brothers might have seen my face before, mashallah. As you know, alhamdulillah, my name is Tayyib Sakrani. I represent Humanity Without Borders, as you said. SubhanAllah, before we jump into myself, this is your show. So, look, for those of you that don't know Ash, Ashraf Tayyib, mashallah, he's a representative of the community and has a company called Taxsolvers. So, before anything else, Ash, give us a little bit about you, inshallah.
Jazakallah Tayyib. So, I'm over 30 years a qualified chartered accountant, trained with Big Four in the beginning of my career. I've got extensive experience in business advisory. Tax strategy, financial management. Beyond this, I've got a deep entrepreneurial experience and managed and worked with many businesses and business owners across many sectors to optimize.
So many of our listeners, mashallah, you've helped everyone.
Well, Leicester's sort of fairly new for me. I've been away in London many years, before that Malawi, and before that the UK in Leicester with the family. So yeah, it's been a great big long circle, huge experience and exposure in London, lots of famous names, a lot of high net worth clients. Alhamdulillah, we still run our London Uxbridge office.
Mashallah.
Right? So I've got some great things to talk about. One of my cases was heard in the House of Lords, the King's Speech on leasehold reform, that was my work. So small things and big things, alhamdulillah.
No, alhamdulillah. And I guess I was going to say, tell us a bit about what you do, but the name says it all, mashallah. Taxsolvers, you're there to help the community when it comes to all things tax, right?
Yeah, so we've come back and established the Leicester office. We've now got over 600 clients and growing, alhamdulillah. So we do service as a team of over 23 staff across 2 offices. We service the smallest, the Uber driver client to the one of the high CEOs of a healthcare company.
Nice. No, mashallah, Allah give you guys barakah. And for those of you now, it's my little introduction, I guess, alhamdulillah. So Humanity Without Borders, we're a registered charity based in Leicester, been here since 2017. Our trustees and founders have actually been delivering aid across the globe, from the most rural areas of Bangladesh and Syria to emergency zones like Gaza and Palestine, alhamdulillah. Since the early 1990s, fast forward to today, alhamdulillah, we are now supporting millions of families across the globe. Our main purpose and structure is that we try and create sustainable development, sustainable programs. Alhamdulillah, as you've seen, mashallah, Ash has been with us on a few trips. We aim to really support those in need, but not just for today, to empower them for the future. One of our most successful projects, we've just come back from Syria, alhamdulillah, is visiting the housing development projects that we have there. So instead of just giving someone food for the day, we're actually empowering them and giving them their own home. I mean, one of a successful story, we were speaking to the team in Tanzania the other day, mashallah, and someone that we gave an empowerment grant to just the other year set up their own business, like a little street car wash. He now has 3 people working for him, and that whole zakat cycle continues. So alhamdulillah, that's where our focus is, and yeah, that's Humanity Without Borders.
Alhamdulillah.
So Ash, talk to us a little bit about this show. How did the show come about, and what you got planned for Ramadan?
This show has come about at really short notice. I think about 2 days notice. So I haven't had time much to prepare, let alone read anything about it. But if I've got the 30 years of knowledge, I should be able to speak on it. And today's talk, is concentrating on charity giving, ensuring compliance, the aspects of businesses giving, and personal giving.
So we have 4 weeks, inshallah, right? So 4 sessions.
4 sessions, 4 weeks. Today's is different to obviously the others. There are plans for the others yet to be confirmed, but inshallah we'll be talking on wills and inheritance tax.
For the people of Leicester, I've heard the plans. So I tell you, make sure you join, inshallah. So you can join Ash every Friday, right? 2 to 3 p.m.
2 to 3 p.m.
on Ramadan FM. And you can actually give us a call right now. Any tax questions you have, anything you want to know about giving in charity, anything you want to know, this is your time. I'll read out the number. You can call us on 077 488 55055, or text on the same number, that's 077 488 55055. We're live on Facebook, YouTube. You can follow the Ramadan.fm on LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, Spotify, Instagram, everywhere. Or if you're old school and you want to come see us in person, talk to Ash about all the different cases that he's helped on, then come visit us on 207 Everton Road, in between Jawala and Chocoberry.
So starting off with businesses, and tax foundations with businesses. Many of our listeners are going to be business owners or self-employed individuals. If you're a sole trader, you're going to be subject to income tax, national insurance contributions. If you operate through a limited company, you're going to be dealing with corporation tax, some dividend planning, possibly director remuneration structures. There's VAT thresholds, allowable expenses, and bookkeeping are all critical factors. And if you're someone who keeps your records in a shoebox or your business or your car glove compartment, we need to have a chat. You need to talk to us. If, on a serious note, proper record keeping is what protects your business. I've managed many tax tribunals, tax cases, assisted many people, alhamdulillah, and I've had some amazing wins representing people who have been referred. But records are important. There's been cases where people pay builders with cash. Things like that are just not legitimate in the eyes of the revenue. Compliance, it's not optional, it's risk management. So choosing the right structure, optimizing tax efficiency, ensuring financial reporting satisfies HMRC recording requirements. Let's turn to charitable giving.
So just on the topic of limited companies, I guess, from a charity perspective, mashallah, you can of course give to whichever charity you feel comfortable with. Please come see us at Humanity Without Borders anytime, inshallah. But in general, whichever charity you're comfortable with, as long as they're a UK registered charity, then you can claim any benefits that you're giving from a company. For example, if you were to give from a company, then anything you donate to a company is actually before capital gains, or before corporation tax is calculated. So for example, if you're giving a £10,000 donation, there'd be tax relief on that entire donation.
That's correct. So from 20 to 25%, the tax band you can save on corporation tax, and that's before other allowables and so on. There is something that businesses need to consider. If they were to donate stock, they'd need to consider the VAT treatment is appropriate, and that the accounts.
That's where mine always cuts off.
Well,
that's where you go to a tax person.
Yeah, we can help, sure. Please remember that you've got to record your donations accurately. You've got to keep records. HMRC stipulates 7 years record keeping. However, an inquiry can go back 20 years, and I've seen that happen. So it's important to keep records. Whilst they say 7, they can go back over 20 years.
I guess what I'd ask you, Ash, is obviously you've been in this game a long time, mashallah, you know what you're doing. Let's just say, for example, is there someone that wants to give to charity? How would you say give from a company, give from personal? It depends on the circumstance and case by case.
All depends on where the monies are coming from. If you've got surplus monies in your company, you want to reduce that year-end tax liability, and you want to see what good you can make of it, perhaps taking funds which can be sadaqah jariyah or whatever, zakat, they can be donated earlier, and you can look at tax planning on that and save tax in your company. It is very important to select. There's lots of apps nowadays. We just go online and donate. We think we're doing a good cause, but we've got to check that those are actually registered charities, and they're registered with the Charities Commission. They report properly and transparently.
Ash, I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball question to you. Bismillah. Let's talk about just 2 minutes on your latest trip, because mashallah, you joined us to Ghana in July. And outside of the tax world, took you away from all your clients and everything else. And mashallah, it was what, 8 days?
It was 8 days, and I was reluctant to even go. And
I remember the phone call when I got the call to say, look, Ash is coming, you need to book his ticket. And I was like, Ash won't come for that long. And Ash is not going to come Ghana, but alhamdulillah, it all worked out.
It was beyond words. Beyond words, by the will of Allah, alhamdulillah, there's no words to describe. And those who haven't been on a charity deployment, you must try it. There's a huge difference between just pledging your money online on an app or giving it, and then actually physically going to donate those monies.
It's addictive, isn't it?
It is. It's a huge difference, a massive difference, and I'd say, alhamdulillah, a godly experience happened whilst we were there.
MashaAllah. No, it was absolutely amazing, and I think just to take that time out from the tax world, like from the everyday world, and just see what our brothers and sisters are going through across the globe. I mean, I just came back, as you know, from Ghana on Tuesday, and before that we were in Lebanon, Syria, and just looking at what our brothers and sisters are going through, especially in this month of Ramadan, as we edge closer, we are so lucky. Every single one of us here, every single person listening knows that at the end of the day, I'm going to get this to eat. At the end of the day, there's going to be this on the iftar menu. We'll have our suhoor menu planned, but our brothers and sisters across the globe, they have no plan, right? They'll be lucky to eat. One story that still gets every hair on my body up is last Ramadan we were in Lebanon. We were in one of the refugee tents, and this elderly lady, we asked her, like, give her Barnami, what's your program for Ramadan, right? And she said that last Ramadan they were sharing one yogurt pot between 8 family members. One yogurt pot. And then we look at us and we're living in absolute luxury, subhanAllah. So yes, mashallah, this talk is about tax and how to save and your tax and charity and all, but this is the month of giving, right?
It is.
If we're not going to give in Ramadan, then when are we going to give? And I think let's really pounce on this opportunity. You've got a real gem in Ash, mashallah, on this show. Give us a call, ask us any questions you have, and genuinely throughout this month I feel one post that resonated with me, and I'm sorry I'm going on here, but it said that we should sometimes reflect, because Ramadan, Leicester, mashallah, we're full of charities, full of people that are always fundraising for different kind of activities. I mean, Ash, you probably get phone calls and text messages from all these from various organizations every single day, right?
We do. We get a lot of walk-ins. Our office operates on a completely different level. We're open door. You don't have to have an appointment. You can walk in, come and ask us. 2 days ago, a brother did that. He had his health issues, and I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning. He was finding it difficult to fill out a PIP form,
Wow.
PIP, nothing to do with us. As accountants, we could have shrugged it off, said, hey, not our thing, but we sat him down, we helped him, gave us so much dua, alhamdulillah, and this is what we often find ourselves doing.
Oh, mashallah. Taxsolvers and everything in between. And back to the point about charity, it's so important that we try and give wherever we can. You know, a lot of the time I think to people, subhanAllah, I was talking to one of my friends, and I said to him, you know, I'm so sorry, you must get donor fatigue. You know, you must get tired of people asking you for donations all the time. But we are so lucky that we're in this position that we can give. You know, that could have easily been us on the other side, not in a position where we have no food, no shelter, in need of immediate attention, subhanAllah. So let's crack on with your questions, I guess. Ash, you've got half an hour.
Yeah, well, if we just speak on the gift aid donor guidance, gift aid is obviously allows charities to reclaim basic tax on donations made by UK taxpayers. So if you're not even a UK taxpayer, that gift aid is not going to be reclaimed. So let's make sure that we do claim wherever we can. We should. It's massive, 25%.
Yeah.
Imagine what we could do as an ummah to get compliance. We'd be raising.
There's a huge stigma around it. I don't know why. Like, there's people I know that are working and they'll come through the office and when it's time for gifting, we don't want to do that. So what would you say to those people?
Well, look, often when I'm filling in tax returns and the clients say, I don't want to pay tax, I don't want to do this, I want to show as less as possible, but common sense has to prevail. And where I've sat in tax tribunals and cases, the HMRC inspectors usually ask, well, such and such in front of you, Mr. or Mrs. X has got rent of this much or mortgage of this much, £1,000 a month, you've got your living expenses, your household running expenses. So with common sense, you've got to make sure that your tax returns show that reflect accordingly. There's no point showing something that's so low, it doesn't justify how you pay your way. And if we all can do that, you know, remember 12,500 odd quid is tax-free, and that threshold will inshallah increase. It's high time they did. And once that does happen, but even before that, if we're all compliant, imagine putting that gift aid claim in to the relevant charities. That's an extra 250 quid on every 1,000 quid. This is how they are. Most of the 100% donation charities run. They operate on the gift aid elements, which are reclaimed after, typically before the accounts are done, around that time. We've managed some for charities, and it's hard, even though it might sound like...
I mean, I guess you can resonate to it more because you've been on a trip now, right? You've seen all the costs involved. There's logistical costs, there's transportation costs. You've got to support the beneficiaries while you're out there. It's not as simple as just giving us a car and then... It's not.
Ghana was a mission, guys. I've been on many charity deployments before I've come to this aspect of life, which alhamdulillah I've seen. I used to just set aside monies that were set aside for charity, and amongst those sort of things, I had an invite to the House of Lords for that. It was not to seek fame or anything. I've had a dinner with King Charles as a host. This was all just pure charity stuff. But alhamdulillah, when you're actually giving with your hand, it's a huge different world. And Tabes mentioned Ghana. We were up from Fajr, crack of dawn, into a minibus, going to different regional areas each day, travelling at 0 miles an hour because of the potholes, and taking about 2 hours to get there. It was horrible roads, and the whole day would span. And Tape's so right, the logistics involved in getting 20 tons of aid to a rural area, water, food packs. People just don't realise.
And that's where gift aid can make a huge world of difference.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were sending trucks recently from West Bank to Gaza with the whole Palestinian emergency, every single day you're paying for transportation costs. And just by people ticking that little box, for the gift, it makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
I mean, on the tax side of things, like you were saying about the self-assessment, right?
Yeah.
So talk to us about how does that affect those of us in the community, mashallah, that are higher rate taxpayers.
Higher rate taxpayers, you'll get a relief where your higher band will increase by that 25%.
So essentially, whatever charitable donations you're making,
yeah,
it's all 25%.
It's all beneficial, and those of you who are shy to show it should not at all. If you have an issue, you have a concern, come and talk to us. Let's see how we can help.
So essentially, if you're a higher rate taxpayer and you're donating £1,000, and you take the gift aid box, the charity receives £12.50. So you've already, mashallah, made an impact to your local charity that are registered in the UK. And then furthermore, when you declare your self-assessment, you're going to save another £250 in tax relief. So that £1,000 donation is only costing you £750.
There's various aspects. Each individual will have their own tax things.
Everything is a case by case.
Everything is a case by case. You have your property. You might have you'll have your charity donations. You have income from a job or a company, dividends, etc. You amalgamate all of that. Yes, it will be to your benefit as well as the charities, and of course the giving part is there, that you've made that difference with your donation. So that's the gift aid and donor guidance, and we've discussed briefly about the businesses.
And please, guys, it's really important that we know that you guys are listening, mashallah. So give us a shout. This is Ramadan Radio. This is Ashfaq Tayyib's Taxsolvers show, and we are here for another 4 weeks. Inshallah, I'm the guest for today, and you'll see the lineup of guests throughout the month. Inshallah, it's going to be pretty amazing. Give us a call today on 077 488 55055. That's 077 488 55055. You can also text on the same number, 077 488 55055. Has anyone dealt with Ash before? Any of Taxsolvers clients listening today, we'd love to hear from you. And in general, if you have any questions about charity, tax, what's some tax guidelines that you could do with some help? What do you want to hear from Ash throughout the next few weeks? Let us know, so then we can help accordingly.
Thank you, Dave. We've discussed about, you've introduced Humanity Without Borders. I'm sure you're very well known, and you do collect, the charity collects in six-figure sums. Alhamdulillah, amazing from where you've come to, where you grow stronger in that. We've discussed about gift aid and donor guidance briefly, and how it impacts on the individual. I wanted to ask Dave, how does your charity handle donations from businesses, and what about if it receives stocks or goods?
So in terms of stocks and goods, the only time we ever receive stocks and goods is, for example, if we have businesses that want to do, like you've seen, where we send 8 containers abroad. So for example, alhamdulillah, because we've registered in so many countries now, we have our own teams on the ground. So we might have someone that says to us, okay, I want to send a 40-foot full 8 container to wherever is needed, and then we can take those stocks and goods, whether that's food, clothing. So most recently, the main reason behind our visit to Syria was one brother, mashallah, he donated a whole container worth of goods. So in that was some food, some clothing, and then we went to deliver his amana with our own hands. And that's amazing, it's fantastic to see the families there. They've never seen, tins.
Yeah.
So, you get chickpeas and that kind of stuff, subhanAllah. And the beauty about this project is because we were looking for longevity, so we weren't looking to increase the number of beneficiaries. We were looking to target focus 250 families or 300 families that have not received aid in over a year.
Yeah.
And moments before the month of Ramadan, alhamdulillah, we gave each and every family around 105 kilos of food. Did
you have an input as to what was put into that
container? Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people can just donate, it might be biscuits that are going out today.
No. So there's all strict conditions and guidelines that you have to follow, right?
Yeah.
So everything has to have at least 6 months worth of date on it.
Yeah.
The lovely thing that we have, alhamdulillah, is because Dad, my dad, he's been in this food game for a long time, mashallah. So he knows exactly what food is required. We try and go for canned goods so that there's a bit of longevity for those beneficiaries in need as well. And it all depends on the donor at the time. Mashallah, that donor, he had a very good insight. Because sometimes it's easy when you're giving goods, for example, to get 30 kilos of flour or 25 kgs of flour, and then just tell 2 families to spread it or split it up. What this donor wanted to do is give each individual person their own food parcel. So then instead of doing just 25 kgs of flour and telling 2 families to split it, we were doing 10 kg bags. So, you know, all of that kind of thought process is really good, mashallah. So in short, obviously a lot of our donations are monetary, so where we try and support local economies in need. So I'll give you a beautiful example, mashallah. One of our most famous projects and most successful projects is our bread project in Yemen. We have an empowerment project there where we support widows and those who want to stand on their own 2 feet. Alhamdulillah, we were giving them a budget of £200 each beneficiary, so each widow or each lady in need, subhanAllah. They'd come and then they'd get the relevant training on whichever skill set they want. Some want to do sewing machines, some would like to do like some sell bundles of clothing. A huge one for us in Yemen was bread, where they wanted a bread maker and started making their own bread. Alhamdulillah, I'd say top of my head around 30 to 40% of the bread we now buy in Yemen is all from those widows that we helped out to begin with, mashallah.
Amazing.
So the whole circle has gone
Yeah.
all the way around, which is why we love obviously empowering those in need, but also supporting local communities. So for example, wherever we're doing our Ramadan food packs right now, all our food packs are bought locally. So then at least we're supporting the local economy at the same time.
I think one of the criticisms of charities is that where, as we pledge and we give, the charities are showering relief, but that relief is only temporary because that individual has had dinner, a meal for today, but tomorrow's not there. So what can we do for tomorrow? What do you think? Should we go and buy a bakery and run it? Or let it run itself and grow and add another bakery from the profits, etc.
Yeah, subhanAllah, I think what we've really loved, especially not just at Humanity Without Borders, but for the charity sector in general, and we're so blessed in Leicester to have people like yourself who have so many people with this business acumen, and that can come in use when it comes to the charitable game as well, mashallah. Because like you said, it's about being sustainable. It's about trying to help families not just today, but for the future. And that's where empowerment comes in really well. So a lot of our projects we do, we give like empowerment grants because we want the beneficiaries to come to us and say, this is my skill set, this is what I have a passion for. There's no point in us giving them a sewing machine if their passion is making bread,
Well,
for example.
there's somewhat beauty in what the aspects that you mentioned, the sewing machine, the learning stuff. It's all AI proof.
Yeah.
It's something we're being hit with quite hard right now.
No, so that's really the way to look at it. What I'd advise people is, look, right now is Ramadan, it's zakat season, right? It's the time when you're gonna start calculating your zakat. Really look at these different elements. Okay, how much do I need to give towards emergency aid? Okay, let me give about 30 to 40% towards emergency aid because there is a need. You can't tell someone who's in desperate need for food, okay, here's £200, go set up your own business. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's not going to work. The people who
There
haven't had
will always be a need for some sort of short-term relief. So whether that's 30-40% of your zakat, however you decide to decipher it, then I'd say give an element locally of your charitable giving. So for example, there's various sadaqah projects we've seen across the globe in Leicester, across the city of Leicester. Give something to your local masajid, whether that's lillah funds, and then the rest try and dedicate towards sustainability and empowerment. How can we help someone stand on their own 2 feet? I mean, just our basic housing projects. The last batch of housing projects we had, which was probably in October time, we had one vivid story, mashallah. You know, we get the reports back from each individual family, right? And one of the families, they walked in to one of the houses we built in Syria, and the 7-year-old boy, he starts pinching his mom and dad and saying, "Hadi al-Jannah, we in paradise." And it's just a £3,000 home that we built there. Very basic. You've seen some of the homes, alhamdulillah. And
I wish we could do more.
And to them, that is the epitome of life. And they've never even dreamt of having a place to call their own. For our sisters, a place to have that dignity and privacy, it's beyond words, you know. And those kind of projects are what we need to really focus our zakat on this year.
Yeah, if we've done that, the very basics, as we say in our Asian culture, Rutika Brahmakan,
Yeah.
if we've done that very basic, then that family, that community has a chance to step on the next aspect and in return can help others. So you just don't know how your zakat is multiplying without you even knowing it. Alhamdulillah.
You know, I'll tell you one story, right? And I'm sorry I keep dragging
No,
on
it's
here.
fine. It's fine. Good, tell us your story.
So I met a donor recently. This was probably around the same in October time. And mashallah, he's doing really well for himself. Allah give him barakah and Allah give him jazaa khair. And I said to him, look, bro, tell me, man, what's your secret? Like, I see you're never working, you're always chilling, mashallah, but your investments are doing the work. And he said to me, you won't believe it, I'm in a game and a challenge with Allah. So I said, huh? So he said, every year, whatever my zakat or my charitable giving is, I double it. So whatever I need to give, say I need to give, I don't know, £10,000, I'll give £20,000. I'll give more than what I'm expected to give. And every year I'm challenging myself and I'm saying that Allah will always give me more. And it just always happens that way.
I've heard many examples like that.
Really?
I've heard that, yeah, giving increases our wealth without us even knowing it's there.
And I think it's at this time where we're in the month of Ramadan, right? We've got our own families, we've got our own bills to pay. We all know our own individual circumstances. But now is the time to give, and how much are we ready to give, and how much tawakkul do we have in Allah, how much belief do we have that Allah will give us more, you know?
Well, Ramadan is the month of giving. It increases our rewards. We may not have the funds. We could pledge over a period of 10 months, 12 months, and aim for that cause. And certainly get onto these charity deployments, and Taib's going to do loads more because I'm encouraging him and guiding him and showing him what we can do. There's Lebanon, Syria, and so many places to help.
So many places, and I think, you know what it is? It's very important, whether it's with Humanity Without Borders or any charity that you feel associated to or that you can make a difference with. Like, genuinely, I know you're smiling, but mashallah, it's true because everyone's end goal is the same. Whether it's Humanity Without Borders, whether it's any charity that we have in Leicester, we are very spoiled for choice here in Leicester, mashallah. Going on a charity deployment and just seeing it with your own hands, delivering it with your own hands is firsthand is just beyond words. We'd love to hear your stories, guys. Give us a call, inshallah, on 077 488 55055. You can also text us to make sure the people of Leicester are listening. 077 488 55055. Back to you, Ash. What were you saying?
You've reminded me charity deployment. I went on a charity deployment about 2 years ago, with my youngest son and my wife, and we went to Turkey and we visited various orphanages. Little did we know there's 200,000 refugee orphans in Turkey from other regions, and that charity deployment. I'm not being critical of it, but it was like a holiday. We were like on a tour. You're doing this, you're doing that. But going with you was hard work. Was really hard work from the Fajr till like 11 at night.
You know, looking back at that trip, genuinely, Ash, one of the things I'll always never forget is the Togo border day. Do you remember when we went to Masjid Muhammad? Right near the Togo border. It was the 4 hours there, or 4.5 hours.
On top of the mountain thing?
Yeah,
I remember that. That was rural. So again, just the general public just don't realise when you're saying to, like Brother Taib, hey, go give my zakat. Here's my money. You've got the responsibility now, Taib. You go and give it, but Taib's got to go 3 hours up a mountain into a rural area with trucks.
It was beyond words. And two things that I still remember very vividly that day is the journey was tiresome, but we went there and all the local community came by. There were families that haven't had food aid in months, and we were short. If you remember, we were short on parcels. I think there were about 300 families, and we had only about 150, 200 food parcels. So we had to start splitting, if you remember.
Because of the logistics of getting 20 tons of food aid up to that rural area, mountainous area, very hard to get to.
And the reality is, Ash, the reason we were short is because of budgets, right? We can only deliver whatever people donate. And I mean it when I say and I tell people, subhanAllah, that whatever we can give, genuinely, it makes such a big difference. When you're on the ground, like my first few trips, I still remember my first ever charity trip was to Kenya, right? I was 16 years old. I didn't buy new Eid clothes for about 2 years after that because you feel it when you come back to the UK, mashallah, and you see what comforts and luxuries we're living in. That okay, this £30 I can save, this £35 I can save. Even to the case of today, our iftar meals across the globe are £2. So that £2 that we can give or automate throughout the whole month, right? That can mean someone can have some food on their plate. And you saw the situation that day. We were out of food parcels. There was queues of families waiting.
It's such a shame we couldn't assist and help everyone. But again, that was like relief for a day. We've got to think of how we could make that permanent. Perhaps donate, as I've seen examples in Malawi, like with donation of seeds for growing crop, which would give a longer term sustainable thing. And you mentioned tins earlier, and that brought the thought to my mind that we have the Eid, particularly where we're donating
Yeah.
meat. But that meat is only temporary. Some of these people, most of them in rural areas, don't have a fridge. They're having that meat for breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Yeah.
and sadly not able to digest it because they haven't had meat in many months, or they rarely get it. So we need to think of what we as an ummah can do. Can we set up a cannery? Can we have something that will preserve that meat and long term distribute it to the right places? We really need to think on that sort of thing.
No, inshallah, and I think that's why it's really good to get and have these conversations, not just with yourself, but think about something sustainable long term. So, for example, one of the projects we're supporting at the moment is how to empower those in need, and like
On a longer term.
On a longer term.
Yeah. We've got to look at that. It's the UK being its Western world. We've got the food banks. People just walk in now, next month, the following month, you see the same tins all there. But people abroad don't have that luxury where it's most needed. I wanted to ask you, how does a charity ensure that funds are used responsibly and transparently? Because right now we know what's happening in Gaza. We've seen it. There's probably people, organizations taking advantage of the situation.
It's very difficult, and one thing, alhamdulillah, that we pride ourselves in as a charity, and Dal, and the way that we operate, alhamdulillah, is that we try and make sure that whatever we collect for, we can deliver. So what we started doing, especially for the emergency zones, we'll procure the aid beforehand, so the aid is ready to be purchased, and all we need to do is then fundraise for that particular amount of aid, get the funds in, get the funds back out to those in need, and then alhamdulillah, aid is delivered. So for example, in Palestine, we're delivering aid every single day. We have 3 iftar kitchens throughout Gaza, mashallah, delivering iftar every single day. And this is where it helps to have the teams on the ground, right? So we have volunteers and teams on the ground. I mean, in Palestine alone, we've lost well over 30 volunteers since October 2023. And I mean, wallahi, speaking to the teams there and seeing what they're going through, their iman and their faith is just a different level,
Yeah. I spoke with a client of ours. He's in London. He's got a shipping business. He's from Palestine. He's Palestinian. His cousins, etc., are in Gaza. And he said the price of an egg is $3. And some of the stories he's telling me, one of his cousins shot with a sniper.
Wow.
So families are losing their family members.
We have just had a message coming. Assalamu alaikum. I work with a mosque charity. Would you be able to share some examples of accountancy?
For a charity collecting 100 to 150
Nice.
I can tell you, alhamdulillah, I've done charity accounts for mosques, West London, but where I was, alhamdulillah, we never charged money. We just felt guilty.
Mashallah.
And
so, shall I put an ad out there? Everyone contact for free accountancy services.
But maybe we could take the element of profit and just pay the staff their cost, and it's certainly an aspect we can specialize on with. But we do have a senior who's registered for charity signing, because that requires some specialism. And so all of their costs less, we wouldn't look to get a profit out of it.
So in short, you're ready to take on this client?
Without question, and I can brag about our team is beyond amazing. When I've said work on Sunday, we're working on Sunday. When we've had the hardest of challenges sometimes, and on one occasion we had a pallet of paperwork, really, literally, I was looking at it thinking, I ain't touching that. But we have an amazing team, and they work very hard throughout weekends.
Mashallah. So to answer that brother's question, sister's question, mashallah, we're more than happy to help. I think the best thing to do is get in touch with Taxsolvers directly. How can they reach you, Ash?
The office, Belgrave Gate. Our staff are ready and willing to assist. We have a general 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. Over Ramadan, I've asked and told the staff that we, some of them want to go practice. We've got some HIFs, ACCA members, and so we're closing a bit earlier.
Okay, Bismillah, the questions are flowing through, so people are listening. MashaAllah, forever will be sleeping. Alhamdulillah. Okay, we've got another one. Can a masjid looking to build a masjid rebuild claim back on the rebuild materials work?
Yes, we've done that for a masjid in Leicester, and alhamdulillah, my son's an architect.
Nice.
Some of you may know him. He's developed masjid in, done the planning, rather.
Sorry, there was a second part to that question. If the brothers can
He's
just-
done the planning for a masjid in Leicester, and recently he did the planning just in liaison with Tayyip when we were in Ghana.
Mashallah, yeah, for two masjids in Ghana.
Yeah, and I understand the feedback is really, really good. Of what,
Alhamdulillah. That's why we went to Ghana to open up.
Alhamdulillah. We've got to see that and showcase it, inshallah.
Inshallah. So to answer that brother's question or sister's question as well, yes, you can, and the best thing to do is get in touch with,
Yep.
with Ash.
There's a specific form, methodology to follow of track record, keeping records. It does take a while to get back with that. Eventually it does come. Sometimes to and fro of legitimizing elements of receipts, but if you keep everything clear, and the same applies with new builds. Anyone doing a new build individually, you can claim that back.
So I guess in essence, to know for donors, everyone that's donating, you're a normal person, mashallah, they're filling out self-assessment every year. You'd say keep all your donation receipts.
Without a question, and imagine the gift aid giving that can
Support with, yeah.
support with increase for our whole ummah, inshallah.
Don't worry, inshallah, whoever does donate to our charity, we always have backups. So if you, mashallah, we'll see everyone pop up around January time and they'll be like, I need a copy of all my receipts. I need a copy of this many donations I made for the year, mashallah. So we have less than 4 minutes to go.
Is that it? That's not long enough. I thought, with our talk with
I'm getting worried looking at these sheet of papers, mashallah.
No,
Those of you that are following.
this is just the fact that I only had 2 days to plan, and I've
Prepare,
gone on
mashallah.
everything straight from HMRC. You can go and have a look. There's no rocket science. It's all online, hmrc.gov.uk, gifting, charity, how to give, the business aspects. It's just perhaps dealing with the compliance.
Yeah. Okay, last 3 minutes. I'm going to put you on the spot now, mashallah. If there's one message you want people to take away about anything to do with charity and tax, what would that be? The message that you want the people of Leicester to take away today.
Compliance. We always say compliance. We get records. I could just laugh about it. A bill that gives us a black sack of receipts once a year. People who come with a shoebox. Here's my paperwork sorted. But imagine, getting that properly set up. Now we've got MTD making tax digital kicking in April. Lots of landlords are stressed, so we can assist with that. And it's got to be record keeping, compliance, making sure your affairs are up to date. And it's hard. Yes, we've all got busy lives and lots to do. Zakat is our religious duty. Tax is only a statutory duty. They're both distinct, but with the right guidance, we can help you operate efficiently with both of them.
I guess what I've seen come about more, mashallah, is that a lot of people are using these accounting softwares, right? So they'll come into the office or they'll donate, and then they'll just upload the PDF or a picture of their receipt, and it's just done.
Remember, it doesn't have to be expensive. Most of the softwares are £25, £30 a month. We don't get anything out of that. You can, as accountants, get commission, but we don't get into all of that because it's just easier to leave the responsibility and the ownership with the client. But there are new apps out there, and they only cost £5 a month, and they do the same job.
Tracking all your expenses.
And they do the same job. So there's many things out there to want to.
And on my side, I guess if there's one thing I want the people of Leicester to know is genuinely, I know, subhanAllah, we have so many charitable organisations. I think the people in my phone book are tired of me calling them every Friday, asking them for donations or asking them to support various initiatives. But wallahi, Ramadan is the month of giving, and we can't get good donor fatigue now. We can't get tired of people fundraising and people asking for donations, because genuinely, I've seen it, you've seen it, a lot of the people of Leicester have seen it, that the need right now is beyond words. And whatever we can do to help, even if it means we can provide one family with one more iftar meal this Ramadan, then all of our efforts, inshallah, will not be in vain and will be very beneficial, inshallah. So please, do what you can. That's all I'd say.
I think you shouldn't think like that, Tayyip. Every time you've contacted me, I think
you're always ready.
Alhamdulillah, it's taken me away from dunya and made me refocus, re-energize, and perhaps do some sadaqah jariyah for our loved ones who have gone before us, and focus on what we're, as travelers in dunya, we are.
It's true. Oh, 100%. I think there's two types of people, right? And I think it's better to be the type, mashallah, that we are lucky to be in this position where we have the opportunity to give, you know.
Yeah, we're coming down to the last 30 seconds now. We've got to tidy up.
Okay, Ash, go on, I'll let you wrap up.
There's not really much to say in the closing remarks, but let us give wisely, choose responsibly the charities that are registered, and ensure that our financial conducts reflect both integrity and accountability. And Jazakallah for listening. The next 3 talks will be even more exciting.
Inshallah, and tune in to Ash's show next week.
Assalamu
Inshallah.
alaikum wa rahmatullah.